Hello, I'm Diane Morgan. If you know who I am, you know who I am. If you don't, who cares? I'm here to explain Italian Time, a holiday phenomenon where Italians throw away their clocks and gather for eternity with San Pellegrino. I've been at this party so long that I've eaten 5 courses, hugged someone's grandma twice, and been offered a job in the family restaurant. So this holiday season, make sure to bring enough San Pellegrino to last you through the meal, the after meal, and the entire goodbye ritual. San Pellegrino, holiday on Italian Time.
Purina believes no one should have to make the impossible choice between their own safety and their pets. But nearly half of domestic abuse survivors delay leaving because they can't bring their pets with them. Through the Purple Leash Project, Purina is helping create more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters so survivors and their pets can escape and heal together. Visit Purina.com/purple to learn more.
Welcome to Why We Roll,
a tabletop role-playing game design podcast by the Stillfleet Studio.
We're your hosts, Chris Pickett, creator of the historical fantasy game Dance Macabre,
and Wythe Marshall, creator of the political sci-fi game Stillfleet.
Through the show, we hope to amplify new creative voices.
We chat with different indie TTRPG designers, talking through a range of questions that are pertinent to many designers, players, and GMs.
We hope to showcase fresh and even challenging ideas about what makes imagination-based games so powerful.
Before we introduce today's guest, a reminder. If you enjoy this episode, please consider supporting the show and all of our games over at patreon.com/Stillfleet.
Okay, let's find out why we roll.
Hey there, welcome. It is Why We Roll, the tabletop role-playing game design podcast from the Stillfleet Studio. I'm Wythe Marshall, and my co-host is...
Chris Pickett, that's me, hello.
And they also produce the show, audio engineer it, so thanks, Chris.
Yeah.
We're excited, always to, for one, just be hanging out in space on the internet, but also today we have a great game. It's an anti-capitalist game. We can really talk politics, dig in, with JD from Rat Bastard Games. And we're going to talk about probably more than one game, but the game that brought us here together is called HyperMall Unlimited Violence, which is a pretty good name, both the HyperMall part and the Unlimited Violence part. So
you can cut it either way. It works great.
It's still a delicious sandwich if it's triangles or squares. It's a false dichotomy.
Crust on, crust off. Who cares, baby?
Dude, if you don't eat your crust, get out of here, man. No.
Yeah, what are you?
I'm putting my foot down. Crust is good.
Well, we already have a spicy check on. Thanks, JD. So JD, do you want to introduce yourself in Rat Bastard Games and just say a little so folks know your voice and who you are?
Hi, I'm JD Clément. I am also Rat Bastard Games. We are one and the same. It's one person.
Are you like two people stuck together, or just sorry? That's
which
there's
one
J
is...
and D.
Yeah.
The J and D. We were fused in an accident, and it's really upsetting that you brought this up. And you know what? I think I'm going to leave. No.
Which one of you is Rat, and which one of you is Bastard? That's what I want to know. It's like the Pink Floyd song.
I just don't want to talk about games. Yeah, which one's pink? Yeah.
Oh, Have a Cigar, my favorite Pink Floyd song.
Right,
Thank you so much, Chris, for this deeper cut. We should all just do karaoke with, among other things, Have a Cigar next time. But JD, sorry to interrupt. You were just telling us a little bit.
That's fine. I'm from what is known as Ontario in so-called Canada. I don't know. I'm disabled. I make tabletop games because it's the one job that doesn't make me want to fucking kill myself. Sorry. Oh, yeah. I should have asked if I could swear.
Oh, yeah. You're fine.
Okay.
The sentiment is echoed, I think, with both of us as well. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is a very family-friendly podcast. It's a very Christian podcast. They were telling me all about their journey with Christ before we got started. So, audience, I'm really excited.
We only make good Christian content.
HyperMall Unlimited Prayer.
I mean, where I grew up in Texas, there are plenty of mall churches these days. So who knows?
Is that true?
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
For sure. yeah, who knows? It could be an expansion in the future.
People do want to know about the gods, and I was like, I made them as one of them is called the Invisible Hand. I made this as a joke. What are you talking? Why do you want to know lore? So I'm flailing here. You got to help me. I don't know what else to say.
Well, no, you're doing great for one. But I guess, yeah, we have a couple of like usual kind of starting questions. But I guess for those who don't know, could you tell us a little bit about HyperMall? Could you tell us about the unlimited violence that is in store for all of us?
So HyperMall Unlimited Violence is a game about like assassinating people. And it's set in the HyperMall. Wow, very innovative. Which is basically the future, but only kind of. It's a future that we could have if things keep getting worse. So you work as a contractor for an app called Slaughter, which is it's Uber but for killing people, and you basically you're a gig worker, and you have to kill people in this setting where death has been conquered. Basically, people come back to life in the HyperMall. It's part of the resurrection matrix. It costs money, but like. They still come back.
Of course, yeah.
So you have to figure out a way to permanently kill your targets in order to pay your rent, essentially. And like everybody starts with a vape. Your cell phone's made out of meat. You vape mutagen to get stronger. You can be a psychic. There's a whole bunch of different. There's like 36 different backgrounds. One of them is a crab person. You can be an alien. I don't like. Yeah, it's. Sorry, I've been working on this for like over a year, and it's finally finished. So my brain is kind of burnt. My brain is like tar.
Yeah.
It doesn't work properly.
These are the best ways to sell things, is just describe them as a list of nouns, and you're like, crab people, meat cell phone, and like all of these things I think are hitting, at least for this show, the Cronenbergian, loading bars all the way up at like 100% click to buy immediately, yeah.
Well, that was going to be one of the first things that I brought up, just like re-reviewing the PDF that I had gotten a while back on Itch, RIP, but also with the kind of more updated version that you had sent us, JD. And like the thing that keeps running through my mind is like, God, it's like if David Cronenberg was on like vaporwave forums and just lost his fucking mind from the internet. This is, I don't know what your influences are specifically, but yeah, definitely the Cronenbergness of it is pleasantly overwhelming at times.
I've never seen anything by Cronenberg.
Whoa, really?
I'll be completely... Unless I have and I just don't remember. That's possible. Like, so the idea for this game came from... I just don't like rich people very much. And the best way I've heard it, like, sold, someone told me about them selling it to their friends, was that you can make Dracula pee his pants by being mean to him. And that is a thing you can do. There's three types of combat. There's regular combat, there's social combat, and then there's financial combat.
Which is so good, financial combat. Let me just say off the bat, really a good hook for like why to play this game as opposed to other D6 dice pool weird games. This is like a very thoughtful weird game with a lot of cool rules and things in it. It's not just random, crab hands and burger people. But there are also those.
Yeah, so there's like rules for generating contracts, like really in-depth rules for generating contracts. There's like 36 potential assassination targets. One of them is the strongest horse on Earth. Another one's Dracula. Dude, you gotta ask me some other question. I don't know what I'm doing here.
You're selling the fuck out of this game, JD. That's what you're doing. You're doing capitalism. It's
Dude, I love capitalism. People are like, it's an anti-capitalist game. It's not. It's, if you read it, it's about making money. So that, therefore, I love cryptocurrency, and the age of consent. We can talk about that later. But I'm sorry.
Well, one of the other kind of starting questions that we typically go for,
Yeah.
and like we'll expand on HyperMall later, of course. But JD, how did you get into tabletop role playing games? What's your history with it, and like what are kind of the steps that led to the creation of HyperMall?
So I started playing tabletop role playing games. Like my babysitter introduced me to 3.5. So right off the bat, I'm already an idiot, basically. Like I've been corrupted.
Brain melted from the start.
I would say that it's original sin, essentially. Holy crap, that game sucks. And then I played AD&D with my best friend, or he's now my best friend, and I was kicked out of that group pretty much immediately because I was a little kid and I was really annoying. And then for some reason they invited me back like 2 years later, and then they kept me around for all of high school, just playing AD&D and some GURPS. And I never thought about, like, I would run my own games, but I never thought about making them. But what really got me to think about game design was Dungeon World, which I think is a brilliant game. And it really opened my eyes to like, oh, the rules don't have to be bad. The rules can be good, and you can enjoy reading them and having a good time running games. So that really changed how I viewed role-playing games and role-playing in general. So from there, basically, I tried to make a hack for it based on RuneQuest, because I love RuneQuest. And that is never going to see the light of day, but it's somewhere on my laptop. So I've just been playing them as a hobby for like 2 decades now, I guess. Was I 9? Oh my god.
That is a pretty early start compared to most folks that we talk to, for sure.
By a couple of years at least. Plus, if you're only 2 decades 9 and you're releasing a couple of games, then that's also not too shabby, honestly. But yeah, as Vex points out, you can actually just play games for fun. I will say, I enjoyed a lot of. I started with 2E and then 3.5E and had fun playing those games. Although, yes, looking back, would not recommend. So I think it's very funny that was your instinct. You identified early on some of the flaws. With some of the strange design choices, but that's a really diplomatic way to talk.
It's very generous.
Oh, come on!
I'm really impressed.
We're generous. We're generous on the show. We love capitalism. We love Jesus. That's what the show's about.
Yeah, it's.
So
I do feel
my brothers in Christ. Let's talk about 3rd edition D&D.
Yeah, that's definitely what the apostles were talking about at the last.
Wizards of the Coast, also known as the Great Satan, is
The transcript for this is going to get so hacked apart by the AI transcript reading, like cyber cop algorithms, the intrusion countermeasure programs that I'm sure are monitoring all the pods, the vaguely left pods.
Spotify's not going to like this one.
Hey, I think there's a laser pointer on my forehead. Where's that coming from? There's a
get away from the window.
Yeah. JD at an unknown location as Rat Bastard Games here to talk about a game he may or may not have created wholesale called HyperMall Unlimited Violence. Parody. So you started with some of the classics. I will say Dungeon World, that is something that, Chris, you've brought up many times in the show as being a major inspiration. Is that correct?
Not that I can remember, actually.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Sorry.
I think
I thought
you and I have independently. I've brought up World of Dungeons maybe several times, which is the
that's a different
the
game.
Harper 1-page hack of Dungeon World, which much less elegant. It's kind of like a sledgehammer compared to a scalpel in some ways, but I really like World of Dungeons just personally.
I remember that. I remember when it came out, and I also enjoyed it. It was like, oh, this is cool. This is like a thing I can just have on my phone.
Yeah. It's easy to run, easy to play, very intuitive. But yeah, taking those PBTA mechanics and just kind of like narrowing down on them even more.
Gotcha.
The whole idea of like a narrative combat specifically was like, oh, I don't have to I can jump around to other people, and like a monster doesn't need to just do like a normal attack. It can, like, a dragon can fly and attack people. Wow,
Crazy.
I don't need to worry about fucking movement rules or opportunity attacks or whatever the fuck. Board games, war games. Ugh.
Well, I brought it up because that has so one of the games with a very similar name has been mentioned as an influence, and I never played those. I played Apocalypse World, and that was, I think, a little before, but I mean, kind of continuous. Like a lot of PBTA stuff was coming out, and so it does seem like an arc that we've heard where people played a lot of D&D or similarly crunchy games, GURPS, Call of Cthulhu, and then later discovered in the way early what would be called the OSR, kind of the PBTA style games of some kind, and something narrative popped when they were like, oh, we could at least use some narrative power, some mix with some crunch. Because I will say, HyperMall, it seems to me a little like Troika, right? It's like got a D6 dice pool. There is some level of crunch, stats go up and down, but certainly not as much as like a D&D. And yeah, there's a lot of randomness and a lot left to narrative explanation. I don't know, JD, if you want to give us a little hint of sort of how does one do a HyperMall unlimited violence, sort of the basics, of making decisions and some of the fun things. I guess along with that, I always wonder, like, what weird shit has happened in playtesting this game or just playing it with your buds. Anything that jumps to mind.
Okay, so that was a whole bunch of things you just asked me. And just to make sure I understand, I can explain some stuff that happened. I can tell stories.
Well, why don't you start with how the game works, and then maybe segue or by way of telling the story if you want. However you want to take it. Yeah.
So basically, so this game, you don't pick your class, your background. You just roll it, because a large part of the design of this game was like powerlessness, taking agency away, because that's kind of what. If you squint, you can maybe draw some comparisons with the real world and our economic situation, with disenfranchisement and alienation and all those other things. So you roll a d6 and you get one of 36 weirdos. That's who you were before you joined Slaughter. And then there's a whole double spread of like personality traits. Not personality traits. Much more important than personality traits, your favorite baseball team, and your gender, your humoral temperament, and how you feel about your baseball team. That's what it was. Those are the main stats that your character cares about, really. Baseball's totally very important. It's not just a joke, I swear. There are 4 other less important stats. There's physic, craveability, thinkitude, and savvy. Those are the standard that every game has. You know what all of those means. There's also your debt threshold, your stress threshold, and your meat threshold. And you have passions. Those are things that your character actually cares about, because despite being a nameless worker drone cog, you do care about things, and they're important, and they make you better at stuff. When you do something that's related to a passion, you get a bonus, your dice roll. And then, as part of the final part of character creation, you can spend you can gain debt. Oh yeah, there's no money, there's just debt. You have a credit card, so your debt can be negative. That means you don't owe anyone anything. But up to your debt threshold, you can spend it on psionics, mutations, or gear, like cool guns. There's a sniper rifle that shoots piss. Like, there's it's a really normal game, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, these are things every game simulates, right? Chris, would you say the piss rifle?
Yeah,
the McConnell piss cannon.
Yeah, I mean, we just added firearms to Dance Macabre. They had firearms in the 1390s, and yeah, one of them just fires solidified turds. So yeah, it makes sense. Tracks.
Oh yeah, we have one of those too. It's the shit gun.
Yeah.
It connects to your digestive system and it reloads, but when you gorge on food.
That's so
which is also how you heal.
That's so
in the
good.
game. You have to eat burgers.
This is actually
specifically burgers.
One of my like particular bugbears with with a lot of cyberpunk games is that they don't lean into the body horror aspect of it enough. You know, where
Right.
it's like
Oh,
you're
yeah.
getting you're getting these like it's changing who you are. Like that's a fucking terrifying
absolutely.
prospect, and that's something that I think that you've handled really well in HyperMall. You know, just bringing that up with the shit gun and having it connect directly to your body.
No, absolutely. That's something that's a big part of it. So you want if not every background can get mutations. Some of them are like there's like an AI who can't, obviously, because they're not flesh. But like most of them can vape mutajuice, and you have to roll a d6 for which mutation it is, or you can spend significantly more money and pick one. So most of the time, because you're poor as fuck, you're just kind of rolling the dice to see what, like, if you grow an extra set of arms, or like, oh, your blood is acid now, or you can generate electricity. Same with the psychic abilities, which are, you have to get a psionic aptitude craniotomy in order to activate them, which is you have to pay a guy to drill into your skull to leave you with a trepanation scar so you can use your phenomenal cosmic powers.
Which should be how psionics always is, like the movie Pi. Like that's in my mind like what it would feel like. Well,
it's based on real life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's how you got your psionic powers, right?
Yes. I'm not using a microphone. This is pure telepathy.
It's just beamed directly from JD's mind to the podcast.
You just hacked into our computers and set this up yourself. Like we just got calendar
I'm Lucy,
invites. Yeah. No, so I agree that it's cool that you leaned into the body horror, and I do think the satire is, again, it's funny and it's throughout the book. But it still seems like it'd be a playable, fun game. And if anything, to me, like in reading this, it felt like a little bit like reading Troika for the first time, where like it feels very random. But unlike Troika, I did not feel when reading Troika, my gripe with it was it didn't cohere ever. It was like, where are we? Like, what is this place like? I have no idea. This feels very familiar, whether it's Gremlins 2 or Cronenberg or just going to the mall as a kid or Trump's proclamations about burgers. It's like all of these things that are kind of like loosely tied to like Americana. I think of it that at least that's how it occurs to me, like kind of North American, just suburban shit, and turn into this kind of Hunting Billionaires for Sport, like by Vex, like came to mind, or Death Game, or any of these kind of, you have to be a fighter who does fighty things because it's an RPG and you want to have fun and like do missions. But yeah, it's the HyperMall. You can't die, and actually you're just in more and more debt. I mean, I feel like Electric Bastion Land had a little of that with debt, but I feel like this game is just more on the nose and sustained throughout, like a full ass book. Just tons of fun and funny like scenarios, stuff to do. So again, it is actually, I think, a very cool, well written, if completely bizarre, tome. So that's not a question, but I mean, I guess here's a question from Oat Milk 5. I'm so curious as to how much Cruelty Squad, if at all, influenced the game's writing.
Yeah, so this is the Tabletop Cruelty Squad. That's what it is. It's I've honestly, this is a dark secret admission, and you're getting it. You're hearing it for the first time here, folks. I've only played like 10 hours of Cruelty Squad, and I was really bad at it. But it is a huge influence on this game. Not just aesthetically, but you're a paid assassin. Yeah, you're a paid assassin in a horrible meat junk world where there's like toilets everywhere or whatever the fuck. But also in the like immersive sim aspect of Cruelty Squad, like sims like System Shock and stuff. That was a big part, the big influence on how I thought about abilities and the different mutations and the different psionic ability. Like, I wanted to present abilities just kind of as they are, and then you have to think about how you would use them in the world, as opposed to a lot of games, which I found that are like, this is how you use a fireball. Like, a fireball does exactly this. It's I don't know. It's a weird thing. I love immersive sim games. Like, my favorite game is Prey from 2017. Like, Yeah. So yes, the writing style, because Cruelty Squad's hilarious. The writing style definitely influenced me.
You can kind of, I mean, you can see it in the graphic design choices that you've made as well,
Yeah.
both in the extant itch PDF and in the more current version. Yeah, again, it's like I know you haven't seen any Cronenberg movies, which I do find a little bit hard to believe, given some of the content.
Can you name some?
Yeah, sure. Dead Ringers comes to mind.
Nope.
Fucking Existenz, The Fly. What's the one we just watched for Left of the Projector?
Videodrome is probably his most famous movie, but the more recent, like
Scanners.
Russian fighty ones, Eastern Promises, History of Violence. Scanners is a dope movie. He's made a lot of movies, and he continues to make them.
I recognize a few of those names. I've never seen them.
Well, yeah. Again, it's like Vaporwave meets David Cronenberg meets living capitalist hellscape that we all experience on a daily basis.
And I know it's not a visual medium, or it's just an incentive to get the book. But so the current version, the physical preview version we have that is graphically designed is, Vaporwave to the 1000th percentile. It's just a lot of color and type and movement. I don't know if you could say anything about the choice there and just like what the feeling of the book was in terms of writing. And I understand you also designed it. So like, you wrote a book, you also are laying it out. I like that Dracula's Dr. Acula, billionaire playboy.
Oh yes. Yeah. That's
funny.
He's hidden. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No one will know.
Secret identity.
Yeah.
No one will know.
That would totally work with the like Epstein type people. They'd be like, "Oh, Dr. Acula, yeah, we golf with Dr. Acula. He's great. Yeah, we go out to Montauk together.
We can only golf at night.
Anyway, he's weird. He only golfs.
It was really. That's a birdie.
Eagle.
So could you? Yeah, the eagle has landed, and there are 2 eagles, and they sit upon a throne that
3
breathes.
eagles. 1 par, 2 par, 3 par. Anyway, this is a digression.
So
Why
JD,
you were asking about design choices?
Yeah, like basically, JD, you're a double threat at least. Probably more threats. I feel very threatened, but you're a writer and designer. So just asking about graphic design, and when you turn to design a book, how did you think about it and arrive at this like extreme maximalist? Again, it is a little bit reminiscent of stuff I've seen like Death Knight or Merc Borg, but a little different because of that vaporwave. Like it looks like cut and paste out of magazines. Do you know what I mean? It looks old school.
It's all digital. I have tried to do physical cut and paste things. I just don't have enough magazines, and also every time I do it, it looks bad. This is all just in GIMP, like the free shitty Photoshop.
Big ups to GIMP.
Big ups to GIMP. I was halfway done the book before I found out my friend finally told me how to do layer masks. So like I was, which is a very basic thing. Sorry, what was I going to say? The reason it looks like this is because I don't know how to do layout. I don't know anything about graphic design. Straight up, I don't know anything about it. I read 1.5 blog posts about like the grid system, which really helped, and then I forgot most of it. And that's not me bragging, it's like I just don't know what I'm doing. So this was how it made sense to lay out in my head. And I don't recommend doing it this way because it takes a really long time, as opposed to what I did for the game I'm going to release tomorrow. Just put it in just have like a template instead of making text boxes for everything or making unique art for every background, for every page. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, it's like not twice as much work. It's like 1,500 times more work to make unique spreads as a graphic designer as opposed to flowing it in like a book, like a novel, which is why like magazine style design, it does stand out. I mean, it's visually appealing because someone's thought about all those choices, but yeah, it takes way more time. So kudos for laying out. It's like a 200-page book, right? Am I right? And is this?
It'll be 248.
Shit, it just keeps growing. May I ask, is it little? Is it little guy? Is it A5 or is it letter?
It's digest sized. It's
Love it.
Yeah, it's whatever a digest is. I have it.
It's a 8.5 by 11 folded in half as digest, which is close to, but not the same as A5.
Yeah, not quite A5.
Digest is like A5's uncultured American cousin.
That's perfect. Yeah, and really, that was on purpose, and I'm quite a genius.
All intentional choices here.
Only intention. No, very cool. Well, so since you mentioned it, we can come back to HyperMall, but what is the game you're about to release? I think you'd said just before we started taping, you just finished writing it or creating it or whatever. But what is it?
It's going to be published on itch tomorrow. I finished it as I was logging into our to the StreamYard. That's what it's called. It is called God Strength. It is a game about language. You had Adam Vass on here, world champ. I've never met him, but he seems awesome.
He's a lovely person. I think that y'all would get on like a house on fire.
We'll have you both back on for some sort of weird panel about strength and meat. Please go ahead, JD.
Yes, at Breakout Con in Toronto, which is near where I live. I played, like 2 years ago, I played Necronautilus for the first time. I signed up for it because I was like, that's a really cool looking name. And then I read the description and I was like, that sounds insane. That you're a gas cloud and you deal with death, huh? And I played it. Sam Lee was the GM. They did Anamensis. I don't know. They were really good. They were awesome. They're a wonderful person. Very good, very talented writer. And that was it was the highlight of my weekend playing Necronautilus, and it stuck in my brain the way you use words of power. So God Strength was my response to that, which was, what if I just took this idea somebody else had and then made it like about anime fights? So in God Strength, you are someone that fought and killed God and then ate part of the Logos, and now you can use words of power to change reality and beat the shit out of other people.
That's great. That's great. Because in so many JRPGs and anime, you beat God and then like what? You go back to your normal fucking life? That shit sucks. You killed God. You should become...
Yeah, God's already dead in this.
Yeah, you should become you should become at least an aspect of God. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the idea that in the JRPG tradition, you just go back to the village at the beginning, and you're like, now I can finally be a normal blacksmith, or like whatever.
It's like when Goku fucking he farms cabbages, and it's like,
yeah,
bro, you can hire someone for this. I'm pretty sure. Like, you don't need.
And
to do
he does it to stay farmer ripped, which is like the most. It's like both vain but still kind of charming. Like Goku's such an interesting. You want to strangle him in every season of every version, but also like you want to be his friend. Like I don't know. What a walk off.
I don't want to raise my son.
Yeah.
I just want to fight with Vegeta.
Yeah.
That was
he's like a deadbeat dad cabbage farmer.
Voice. Like the
was it?
That
really?
was good.
That was a very good, North American dub of Goku. That was incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah, JD, sorry, we've hit the 33-minute mark, so can you do the rest of the interview as your favorite anime character? So that's just a tradition on the show that we do every time.
Oh, yeah, of course. That was my favorite part. It's time to duel! Yu-Gi-Oh!
There are no bad cards in my grandpa's deck, Kaiba, or whatever the line is.
Yeah, no, that was it. He's not my favorite. He was just the first one I could think of.
Oh my God, I'm crying over here.
Good.
We'll bring it back to God Strength, I swear.
Sure.
So what were we talking about? Right, so God Strength, so you have a new game where, which is, I do like that idea, you've defeated the sort of, I don't know if it's meant to be the Abrahamic god or just
it is.
A god. Okay, great, sure.
Very
Yahweh.
Yeah, you beat the shit out of Yahweh,
and you've gotten the Logos. So that feels very like Image Comics 90s, like Lucifer thing. So you have the Logos, and you can do cool, basically like wizard stuff. And then basically you have anime fights. So it's more meant to be sort of set piece battles, sort of in the tradition of Transgender Deathmatch Legends 2, etc. Like games where you're having big set piece battles. Is that the vibe?
Kind of, yeah. All of my games are kind of like low key, like not low key. That's not the right word. Like there's a system in God Strength, or there's an example of like, hey, if you need to make an adventure, you can roll D6 a couple times and you get it. And like one of the things is, one of the player characters are called killers because they killed God. The killers want, and then it's ... and one of them is just a pizza. And then there's things standing in their way that could be like devils or rival gangs or something. So yeah, it was born from like, I love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I really love weird anime fights where people just do strange things to beat each other. And so like in God Strength, you start with 3 words, and the words could be like container or like like modulate or whatever. So and then it's like, how am I going to use this to beat somebody up? Well, I'm going to modulate gravity, or I'm going to do whatever. Like so it's that kind of really weird anime fights, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, it kind of goes back to what you were saying about, the influence of Dungeon World / World of Dungeons, where you can have these kind of very like narrative combats, right?
Yeah.
And no, I like the flexibility that gives it. It almost feels a little bit different than HyperMall in some ways, because it's actually, I'm presuming, gives a lot of agency to the players to shape how things happen, regardless of kind of mechanics and crunchiness, all of that stuff.
Yeah, there's a line in the book about like if basically, your words change as you use them. So you'll like drop letters or change letters. So they'll become gibberish really quickly. And there's a line about there's like the pronunciation or the spelling doesn't matter. It's like how you argue what it means. And when it says if the GM tries to like, that doesn't work, you can just remind them that you have God Strength and you don't like believe in rulers, or I forget what I wrote. It was a lot more elegant than that, I promise. And like rules are just another cage to be broken. So it's kind of, I guess it's the antithesis of HyperMall, where players have all of the agency. They are able to literally word by word change what their story is.
Right. Well, I love trying to figure out I think one of the white whales of RPG design is the sort of Mage the Ascension system, but really good, where like you can use true magic, which would be like anything, but it's somehow still constrained by like your will or pushing back against the environment or like physics or like belief of others or gods or like whatever, whatever the constraint is. But it's that like modulation between like players have full agency and are just like super wizards, anime characters, versus like the normcore like D&D version of a wizard, where like you have to study all day just to be able to make like an invisible hand that can carry like a torch for 10 minutes. And I think that that's like an interesting place to play in, is like, well, what if you had some words of power, but they're kind of random or hard to use, and you have to be creative. I think that's a fun way to begin to constrain it, but still allow players to like you said, modulate gravity. That could kill somebody real quick.
In the playtest, one of my players, and there is a table for words. There's like D6X, but the way you're supposed to play, you just write down words. You trick your players into just writing down 3 words and don't tell them what they're for. And so one of my players wrote "forgot," and then they were in a bar fighting people, and he's like, "Okay, I'm going to make it so." Oh, it turns out everybody at the bar forgot that there was an active volcano outside. And it was like, oh, that's really smart. And also now you all have to deal with an active volcano. And then that was the whole session.
That's great. I also could imagine a version where you can do whatever with the word, but the GM can add, kind of like Fiasco, the idea of the director and actor or whatever. Like you can set it up, but the GM can always add a monkey's paw effect. So you're like, I forgot I had a loaded gun and I shoot the guy. And the GM's like, I forgot that everyone turns into zombies who dies in this bar. So I think it's fun to kind of imagine, giving people the tools to make cool, big narrative moves, but still having, some ability to like punish them, just because otherwise it's like, oh yeah, you're all infinitely powerful, whatever.
But that's the thing. They're fighting people with these abilities as well. Everyone on Earth is a killer. everyone on Earth has some words of power. And when you die, you lose one, but you come back as long as you have one. And when you don't have any, you're permanently dead. Because that was like God's final curse. His final commandment.
Damn, fuck that guy. No, that's cool. I also like measuring your health and your levels of ability to like resonate with the Godhead or change the universe. That's fun.
Yeah.
So where can people find God Strength and HyperMall for that matter?
It will be on itch.io. I don't know. It's on my itch page.
We'll of course have links in the show notes for folks who are listening. By the time this is published, by the time you, dear listener, are listening, it will have been God's Strength will already have been published.
Yes, it will be published tomorrow. I'm excited. There'll be and it'll be readable. It's just white and black. There's no evil layout problems.
Implied question in the chat: physical copies, sus eyes, question eyes.
Oh, hi, Ian. That's my good friend Ian.
Sus eyes.
That's his sex eyes. I know him. You don't, but yeah, there will be. Well, sorry, I don't know why I said there will be. There is going to be. There is a zine version that you can print yourself, and there is also a digital PDF that's laid out normally. If people are like it, I will do maybe a crowdfund thing for a physical copy with probably more art. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I think that would I'd back that in a hot minute. And yeah, maybe you can also you can play test, use this as an excuse to kind of remarket something, right? Like put it on itch, and then if you have some new ideas in the next 6 months or whatever timeline, you can like touch it again, glow it up. I'm curious, Chris, you might have other questions. I was just thinking about, we've discussed 2 of your games, JD, and I was curious about your practice as a game designer and kind of how you like to go about designing games and how you, we basically got in touch through, I believe, the publisher of HyperMall. Is that right? Hammer City?
Yes.
Who seemed very cool. And so, they seem very interested in promoting your game, which is very cool. But, I was curious about, I guess, the game scene, or somewhere in the vague vicinity of Toronto, right? That's where we established.
At Niagara.
Well, you're really gonna make it easy
yourself here.
Yeah.
I live in a cave behind the waterfall, actually.
No address. No internet. This is directly from JD's brain, listener.
Yeah. So, in order to develop a game, I actually sit under Niagara Falls on a rock and I meditate, and I let the water. So, HyperMall specifically, it literally came to me in a dream. And the dream was, what if there was a first-person shooter where you are Paul Blart Master Chief? And
it was originally called... Words I never thought I would hear anybody say.
Well, see, and that's on you. And I was so inspired. I was like, I want this to be an immersive sim. I have a whole design document on my phone, like on Google Docs, where it's like, this is the features the game would have. And this was for a video game. And I even got to the point where I was like doing a few tutorials on how to make Godot work. I got to the point where you make a bunch of cubes, and then I was like, wow, I don't like this. This is really boring. And then I remembered that I love role-playing games and I'm good at writing, so why the hell wouldn't I just make a role-playing game about it? And then I entered a fugue state for 3 months and wrote it all on my couch on my phone. Sorry, what was the question?
Well, I think originally I was asking about your process, but you kind of answered that, which is have a dream.
Yeah, sit under a waterfall. Be Miyamoto,
be in a cave.
Be Miyamoto Musashi. Sit under a waterfall and meditate.
Right. And then be Carl Jung. So go from Musashi to Jung, where you like have a dream and you wake up and write it down. And then just be a normal millennial where you do all of your work on your phone as much as possible, and you just get in like up down fugue states. So when you're up for 3 months, you write the book, and then it's done. So easy. Game designers, that's easy. That's the way. It's a 3-step process.
Yeah, that's been my
JD. Let me know
for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
if I got that right.
Simply have ADHD and then get really lucky and have your hyper focus be making a weird game where you kill rich people with guns. Yeah, so I don't know. Like, I don't know how to answer this question. When I have an idea for a game, I think about, like, okay, there needs to be something that is like there needs to be a dice thing that interests me, or like there needs to be a hook that works with it. And if, like, I have tons of ideas, and if I can't figure out a specific mechanical hook, the project will go nowhere. And for God Strength, that was this idea of heat. When you defeat an enemy, you take one of their words and you gain a heat, and you can spend that to increase one of your words, change it, and there's a system for that, and solidify a fact about your character, your killer. So you detail their backstory or their, like, relationships with the other party members, and, like, who they were before the end of the world. And it builds from there. For HyperMall, it was debt. The idea that basically everything costs money. So you resurrect in HyperMall, and there's resurrection quirks when you come back, because the company that resurrects you has an economic incentive to not do it perfectly. So you can come back with extra limbs, or, like, no brain, and then you die immediately. And each time you do it, it costs money. And so you're constantly running up against your debt threshold, and bad things happen if you go over that. So I like to build these systems that build off of each other, if that makes sense, as well as give me opportunities to write funny shit. And or just, like, I just have a weird idea and I want to put it out there.
Yeah, I love the heat idea too. I love,
it's very
we
cool.
talk a lot on this show about narrative loops and narrative structures, and I think there is a mechanical component to them, however narrative or crunchy or whatever. But if it doesn't have some constraint, it doesn't really matter. If you could just be like, no, that doesn't happen, I'm God, I live forever, you know? So it's like, you know, I think it's interesting to have a game where you're very powerful, but there is something, you know, there is like a, there's a snowball effect or whatever. So the more words of power you have, the more heat you have, something happens, right?
And you can have up to 6, and if you get too many, you have to spit one out, and it becomes a devil based on that word.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Yeah. That also
because I love Chainsaw Man.
Same. Thanks to Vex in the chat, who I think told me about Chainsaw Man. Vex is at least my personal anime recommender, and manga when I very rarely have the time. Chris, I know you're an expert in your own right. So
yeah. I think Vex and I recommend a lot of the same things to you, and then uniformly it's like, well, when I have time.
It's never going to happen. Yeah, Chainsaw Man was a nice excursion, but no. So that makes sense. So JD, it sounds like your process, the mystical cave part aside, I'm sure many of us have had that. You know, you have the idea and you know it's good, but you need that kind of like mechanical hook or something to make it a game, because game design is not just telling a story to your buds or writing a novel or something, writing that screenplay finally. It's making a system that could reproduce itself. Like, you don't have to be there and people could use it and tell just awesome epic stories about whatever. So in this case, kind of anime style fighting. And maybe that's a common struggle. I bet, I'm going to guess, is like finding the right mechanical hook for the cool, weird dream idea that, you know, there's something there, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, Chris, if you have thoughts on that, but that's, I don't know, just a pattern.
No, yeah, I mean, similar experience, you know, for Dance Macabre and other stuff. It's like, you know, even if you're building off of, like in my case, building off a system that kind of already exists and has its own, like, you know, particular mechanics in it. Like finding a way to express the novum that you want to get across mechanically always feels like kind of the first biggest step that you have to take, for sure.
So very cool to hear some of the things that you did, JD, to do that, at least with a couple games. I guess, Chris, do you have questions that we have not covered? We know we've covered a lot of territory. To recap: meat, burgers, death, resurrection, God, words of power. Caves.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask JD specifically about I think you said at the top of the interview of the episode that you had worked with one other artist for HyperMall.
Yes.
But I was curious, outside of the kind of general vaporwave aesthetic, what was the process like for choosing art for that, or commissioning art for it, or making art for it? Was there like a very specific aesthetic that you were going for, or is it more of just kind of we're going to throw everything at it and see what sticks? Yeah.
So I don't know what process my good friend Brighton does. He is the main artist in the game. Well, sorry, the main artist that's not me, I should say. His art, and it's actually in the one that's on itch right now, like the ash can. His art is really like this. It's like collage art, but like just taken to an extreme that I have no idea how he makes his images that dense and that detailed. And honestly, like there's a level of fun to it, of like playfulness to his art that he's amazing. And we've been friends for years. And he just started posting some stuff, and I was like, oh man, hey, can I like use this in HyperMall? And I would just tell him things that I needed art for. I would be like, oh, I need you to make art. Can you make art for like the consumer, which is the thing that eats your soul when you go to the death dimension in HyperMall? Or like, can you make art for these 4 assassination targets? One of them's a baseball player because he loves baseball. Another one's the pagan baller, who is a right-wing supplement guru.
Fuck.
Yeah. He also did the art for the Invisible Gorilla King, which originally was just an empty picture of a jungle. But yeah, so his art's amazing. So I just let him do whatever he wanted, which worked out really well. Unfortunately, we didn't know the dimensions of the physical book at the time, so a lot of his stuff I had to I'd not squash, but like either crop in a way that I'm not super happy with because it covers it, or dedicate pages to it. Because I honestly think it deserves it to stand out on its own because it's so good. Other art that is in there that I didn't make was Zach Emo Sludge, Zach Hazard. He has a content, like a pack that you pay $50 or $25 or something, and it's like you can use it with attribution. Is that how you say that word?
Yeah, you got it.
You got to cite them.
You got to
sure.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah,
got to give some credit.
Yeah, you got to. And he does like, I think how his process works is he does 3D stuff and then like takes images of it. I don't know. His art's amazing. If you've never seen it, it's really stellar. Very HyperMall. And if we had reached one of our stretch goals, a bunch of his art would have been in the game. And unfortunately, we didn't on Kickstarter. But if there's ever a second edition, I'm gonna gun for it because I can picture it in my head and it'll be amazing. So my process is I find a weird looking public domain image and then slap a bunch of stuff on it and mess with the opacity until it kind of looks cool. And if I'm being smart about it, I'll think about a theme. I like to use a lot of textures too. There's this really good free texture pack on itch called Skin Graft Volume 1. It's amazing. I use so much of it. It's by Miscast, I think his name is. I'll have to check that.
Yeah,
but it's stellar. It's just like these high quality scans of various pieces of garbage. Essentially, is a lot of it, and it's perfect for HyperMall.
Yeah, I think I'm on a page right now, or a spread right now. The how does the client want it done? D66 table, which, yeah, the background literally just looks like a flattened out trash bag, and it works.
Yes.
It works great.
Yeah, and that I'm pretty sure that one specifically is from Skin Graft. It's It's amazing. Because who wants to spend the time to scan things? Jeez.
Someone
so
does,
that's my
but it's not
process.
me.
No, exactly.
Oh yeah, we have a whole scanning party planned. My wife and I, who works with us, for a lot of my old I have 5 giant books full of maps that need to be scanned actually at high res, so we can actually do something with them ever. And it's like, yeah, we'll do that one day. Well, no, because then it's gonna be like, oh fuck, that's gonna take like a week, and it's just so slow. We need that's where I want robots to actually exist and be good.
Yeah.
I want to give a robot a book and be like, scan every page of this. But usually that's like a grad student or something in real life doing gig work.
Speaking of gig $7 an hour, baby.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, if somebody wants to do that. So thanks for talking about your process a bit and shouting out the artists. That's a great question, Chris, and we always want to shout out our artist friends, obviously.
Yes.
Chris you're doing some of your own art, and now tables turned. You're also working with the other artists, art directing. So it's a whole thing with games where you're like, wait a second.
It's a whole thing. I do really like Emo Sledge's work, Zach's work here.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I've been messing around with a lot of halftone patterns and stuff like that for Dance Macabre, just because of the influence of manga on the art style for that book, and oh my god, the way he uses it for textures is fantastic. Really good stuff.
It's so good.
And I think that it's interesting to think about texture specifically. I'm not sure that's something we've talked a lot about, but 3D texture, different styles. I feel like that could be, Chris, a whole episode or something one day is different RPGs because a lot of it has, kind of a metal, line drawing aesthetic, or Morbius, 70s, 80s metal comic. But yeah, there's a lot of games that do cool stuff with 3D, quite frankly. I can think of some right now, some cool Mothership supplements and stuff that use old video game look.
Yeah, some of the liminal horror stuff as well.
Yeah.
I think he's in that. I think.
Yeah, he did the cover for The Mall.
Yeah,
the supplement for liminal horror.
That might be then what I'm thinking.
All the way down.
So
I think that there's a generational trauma for millennials.
There really is,
where it's just you can't escape the mall. You cannot escape the mall.
And I have to say, Tony Grasso is in the chat, who's another artist we work with and really enjoy his work. And he's doing a mall thing, I think I'm allowed to say. I don't know. I'm sorry, Tony, if I'm not supposed to say that. But, I think Mall's very different project. But I think Mall as space, to Chris's point, we could probably do another hour just on that. And maybe we should. Maybe, again, we'll do a round table. Anyone who was traumatized by trying to look cool while ordering nuggets at the Wendy's in front of a pack of middle schoolers from the different middle school, whatever, right?
Dude,
it was
fuck those guys,
dude.
Man,
assholes.
I hate the other tribe.
That's our hot topic. Get your Nightmare Before Christmas T-shirts elsewhere, loser.
Wow,
I'm not a very threatening person.
Well, on a very dark ending there, Chris. I think it is basically 8:00 here. So I guess to wrap up, Chris, do you have any other questions for JD?
I think the only other question that I have, thanks for teeing it up, is JD, where can we find your work? Where can we find Rat Bastard, as well as HyperMall, God Strength, and others? How can we best support you?
You can send me tribute through my itch page at it's just Rat Bastard Games. You can also Google HyperMall. That's the main way. I'm thinking of opening a Patreon. I have no idea how that works. But this is my primary source of income, and it'd be awesome if people supported me. And I really thank you guys, both of you, for the opportunity. I've had an excellent time.
Yeah, no, this has been super fun. We similarly thank you for coming on. We just like chatting with folks.
Yeah, we do. And really, JD, you're welcome back on. We should definitely really follow up on some of these threads. We could do, sometime, Chris, I do think, I know we said this, we should put together some sort of multi-author, just let other people talk about sort of anti-capitalist games and stuff and the business side. I think there's a lot there. But there's so many cool games. We're just like, oh no, that's a cool game. Let's ask that person about their game. And then that's a whole hour.
Well, we're going to have two different panels. We're going to have one that's anti-capitalist and then one with JD and
Right.
JD alone, famously pro-capitalist HyperMall author.
JD Dr. Acula will be there for the panel, yeah.
I've been here the whole time. I love my money.
Well, on that note, thanks everyone in the chat. And if you're new to the show, I really appreciate you dropping in to the Twitch stream. And this episode will be out in some point. Let us know, JD, if there's urgency and time. But we have a whole back catalog of episodes we've taped. And every 2 weeks, a new episode drops. And this is a talk show where we just want to talk to indie game designers. So if you're an indie game designer, or you know one, or you're just interested in story-based game design, especially if you're on the left, or a vampire, then, follow us, check us out, and definitely check out...
It's so progressive to include me.
Rat Bastard Games. Yeah, a new protected category. It's actually there's a checkbox now when you get a job. Are you whatever? And then it's like...
Strigoi.
A Dracula. Yeah, Strigoi. Exactly.
No, the category is Dracula. It's weird. That's the preferred terminology.
That's in Canada. Here in the US of A, we only eat hamburgers. We only listen to indie podcasts about indie games. Thanks a lot, JD, Rat Bastard Games. Everybody check out HyperMall Unlimited Violence, and have a wonderful evening.
Yes. Good night, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Good night.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Sleep well.
Thanks for listening to Why We Roll.
Our theme music is by the brilliant Sam Tyndall and Arpline.
If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
You can find us on all social media at Stillfleet. You can find out more about Danse Macabre, Stillfleet, and all of our games over at stillfleet.com.
Hey there, Hugh from Podderation here, and if you like today's show, why not have a listen to the All Things Nintendo podcast? Hosted by Brian Shea, former director and Game Informer and lifelong games journalist, the show explores the ins and outs of gaming's oldest company and one of its biggest, featuring interviews, featuring reviews, featuring everything you want to know about the world of Nintendo. If you'd like to learn more, check out our website at podderation.com.